Okay, we're live.
Hold on, let me get to the
6 p.m. We're going to get to the YouTube channel. 6 p.m. Mondays and Wednesdays live. Talk golf, the gang. Take a look at your golf swing if you'd want. Send it to us. Upload it on our website at quickfixgolf.com, or you can email it to quickservice@quickfixgolf.com, and we'll analyze it for free right here on the site. Give you some drills to work on. Have some laughs.
Here we go. This is cool. This was easy this time.
Yeah, we're getting there. We're getting there. So we're not at the PGA Show this week. How about that? When was the last time you went to the PGA Show?
But nobody else is going either, from what I hear.
Is that right? Where'd you hear that?
But we're just looking at it. I mean, you look at V1's not going. It has changed over the years. It used to be, you had a big booth from Ping, a big booth from Titleist. You had a gigantic booth, all the major companies. But it was a way for the pros to get away. The pros that went from the north to the south, and then they taught in the south in the summertime. Then on the way back up, they stopped at the PGA Show, and you placed all your orders.
Yeah.
Now with the internet, you don't need that anymore.
No, you don't. You don't.
So you see more suppliers, small suppliers that have smaller booths that are selling their new technology.
Yes. Yep. Yep. You still have some of the big brands there. They weren't going for a couple of years. They pulled out for a couple of years, but they're back.
Well, they are.
Yeah. But I haven't been to the show in a couple of years. When was the last time you went?
Yeah, I haven't gone either. So I was going to mention to you, do you think we ought to go? But
yeah. Well, it's good to see, what the latest and the greatest are. A lot of companies are saving their new stuff to unveil at the show. So, and it gets you a chance to see a lot of those little mom and pop shops that you really wouldn't see on a regular basis via lack of them marketing themselves. But it's always a lot of fun, and you get to see a lot of networking goes on there. But you get to see a lot of the new stuff. I liked it for all the different training aids and teaching stuff that they have. So that's why I always enjoyed going.
the part I enjoyed most used to be that it used to end at the Super Bowl, and they would have Super Bowl parties and everything.
Right.
Especially Yamaha, the car people. They'd have great parties, man.
Yep. Izod. For those of you who don't know what we're talking about, the PGA hosts an annual show in Orlando at the convention center, which is just ginormous. I can't even tell you how many football fields you can fit in this place. And every vendor and pretty much in the golf world has a booth there. And I don't think, is it open to the public? Probably, I don't think it is it? I don't think it's open to the public at all.
No, it's open to the public. It is open to the public. It used to be only on Fridays, only PGA pros could go.
Right.
And then Saturday and Sunday, the general public could get in, but it's not like that anymore, I don't think.
Right. But it's a pretty big spectacle. It'll take you at least 2 days to walk around the whole place just to see everything. So it's
I still make you bet Mahomes could get all the way across it in 13 seconds.
Yeah, you're probably right. How do you know so much about that game? You don't even get cable at your house. How do you know so much about this game?
I've got a cell phone.
Would you hear it on the radio?
I got a cell phone, man.
You got a cell phone, okay.
I watch everything on the cell phone.
Well, we're here instead of at the PGA Show, so we might as well provide a little education for everyone. If you got any questions, put it in the chat box. Anything you want to go over, short game, long game, driving, anything. Got any questions, just put it right in the chat box and we'll do our best to answer it. So let's take it. I thought we'd talk a little bit tonight about what starts the downswing, because that's a question that we hear a lot, don't you think, Bobby?
Oh yeah, in fact, that was one of the videos that I was adjusting today. It was interesting. You know, how do you start? Is it the legs? Is it the arms? Is it your hips? Is it your nose?
You know,
Is it your earlobes? I mean, you know, what the hell starts this thing going down the other way? And you hear so many different ways that different guys feel it, and gals.
yeah, I think the key word there is feel it, right?
Yes. Big-
Because I think everybody's a little different on how they need to feel the downswing needs to happen. And the biggest influence on how the downswing should feel like it's happening is where the club face is orientated at the top of the swing. That's your marching orders, don't you think, Bobby?
But absolutely. I mean, that's a good way of putting it. I never heard it said that way. That's a good way of putting it. That's your marching. In other words, that determines what it is you're going to have to do. Just like that guy that has it laid off and open that you were showing the other day and everything. So he's got to do something different than somebody that's cross line and shut.
Yep. Yep.
Both might get to the same place. One took a cab, the other one walked.
Run for fun. So yeah, that club face gives you your marching orders, and if you don't know what your club face is doing at the top of the swing, you got some problems. And
don't feel bad, neither do we.
you need to get that checked out immediately. So you need to put it on video. Get your cell phone out and video your golf swing and send it to us. We'll tell you exactly what's going on at the top of your swing and what kind of marching orders that you need. So let's see. We got something in the chat box, Bobby.
Oh, we do. So listen, happy Wednesday, guys. I'm 57 with a Dr. SS or driver, Super SS at 95 miles per hour. My coach says speed is great early in the golf learning, and doing training may not work. What do you think?
Oh, this is a good one here. First of all, training always works. Talent is not something that you're born with. It's speed is a skill set that you can learn and you can train and you can develop. Right now, currently, I cannot dunk a basketball, but if I wanted to, I probably could with some training. And that's the kind of the way I look at it with clubhead speed. If you want to achieve a certain clubhead speed, you've got to train for it and build that skill set. But I agree about the fact that it needs to be ingrained early on when you're learning the game. When I was studying under Martin Hall, he taught a lot of juniors at the time. And the last 10 balls of every single lesson that I watched him give, he had the junior that he was teaching at that moment, hit the golf ball as hard as they could. Regardless of where it went, he didn't care where it went. He just wanted to hit the ball as hard as they could to develop and learn and feel what it's like to swing the golf club hard. And distance is such an important part of the game nowadays, not as much years ago, but it's still such an important part of the game. You have to have it in order to play this game. And everybody plays the game at a different enjoyment. If you're hitting it 100 yards, if you're hitting it 200 yards with your driver, people enjoy it at different speeds. So you want to enjoy the game at the speed that you enjoy it at. So if you're not enjoying it where you're at, then yeah, you got to pick up some clubhead speed and train. And it's definitely something that can be learned. People can learn anything at any age. I truly believe so. That's a really defeatist way to look at it, where you can't be learned later on in life, or if you've been playing the game for a long time. So, what about you, Bobby? When you were growing up, was there an emphasis on speed? And when did you learn to hit the ball harder, or did you not hit the ball hard, or what was it like when you were playing at your best and growing up?
Oh, it was the reverse. You were discouraged from hitting it harder. The emphasis was getting it in the fairway. I mean, I was looking at a video the other day of Billy Casper playing with Whirlybird. Somebody sent me, and it announced it, and he boomed the drive 250 down the middle. I mean, 250 was a good drive.
Right. Yeah.
You know, but for this coach here, he said whoever's coach is, I don't know what the name is. He says you can't do it now. You're earlier in life. You know what? You got to find a new coach.
Yes.
Because there's no reason why you can't pick up speed. You got to get the hands and arms moving faster, and your body might not be able to make the kind of turn it would make when you were younger. But you're only 57. You're a kid, for Pete's sakes. I mean,
yeah, exactly.
you're probably still chasing women and everything. I mean, come on.
Oh dear. So let's get back to what starts the downswing, and I got a couple of different examples here, two opposite ends of the spectrum, and I've got Rickie Fowler up here. Rickie, I can't make a cut. Fowler of late. I hope his struggles get better.
Sean will make one.
What?
I'll just go. You keep going. I'm sorry. I should have interrupted there. Sean made a comment there.
Oh, yeah, preferred program. Yes. Jacob Bowden. He's trained me for swing speed, and he is the best. That's Jacob with two A's, J-A-A-C-O-B, Bowden. He was a long drive champion. We had him on a webinar, about a year and a half ago. Great guy for clubhead speed training. And, we can help you with some clubhead speed just by looking at your swing, giving you a few thoughts there. So send us your swing so we can see it. Maybe we can give you a few pointers there on just looking at it. So don't be afraid to send that video in. But let's get back to Rickie Fowler here. So let's watch how the golf club swings up to the top. And before the golf club even finishes the backswing, Rickie right now starts to unwind. So the knee goes this way. The hips start to rotate.
Well, I like his tilt at the top.
But the golf club is still traveling back. All right. See, club's still traveling back, and he's already gone forward. So he's already gone forward, and that's the top of the backswing for him. So in Rickie Fowler's case, he's starting this downswing from the ground up. Everything's working from the lead ankle to the lead knee to the hip. His shoulders haven't unwound yet. His shoulders have still stayed coiled, and as the backswing finishes, but he's starting it from the ground up. And that's what he would feel in there. Now, is that the right feel for everyone? Absolutely not. Let's take a look at Justin Rose as a complete opposite, and watch what Justin Rose feels like he needs to do in the downswing. So his downswing is initiated like so. I don't see the knee or the hip doing anything. I see a flexing of the knees.
What the hell is he doing?
And he's dropping his arms. He's feeling like the arms are being dropped first. And to be honest with you, that's what most of our viewers need to feel. They need to feel this. They need to feel those arms are coming down in the golf club. Right, Bobby? We talked about...
Oh, this is a drill.
Yeah, it's a drill. We talked about the squeeze, right? Here's your squeeze line. And watch how the golf club just comes straight down that line. Golf club isn't moving outward. That would be against the squeeze line. But the arms and hands are dropping. Everything's dropping as opposed to unwinding. Don't you agree, Bobby, that that's what most of our viewers need to feel in the downswing?
Yeah, the only problem I have with it, seeing it for the first time, is that you see a lot of beginners. They'll dip, and they not only go down, but they go towards the ball. And I'm sure he's not doing that. He's probably dipping, and he's really dipping down towards his right foot, not towards the ball. Although he's got a wedge in his hand or something, so it's not something short. But the last time I saw his swing when he was hitting with a driver, it looked beautiful. I guess he couldn't leave good enough alone, I guess.
Yeah, well, it's just like we're saying, it's just a feel that he's having that initiates the downswing. It's a feeling of the arms and hands dropping and him staying coiled. Where Rickie Fowler had the opposite going. He was uncoiling from the bottom. He was staying coiled up top, but he was starting to unwind before the backswing even finished. And Rose would tell you that most amateurs, and when he gets out of sequence, his shoulders start to unwind first. So this is the drill that he does to make sure that his shoulders aren't unwinding and the golf club is dropping before his shoulders start to unwind. Let's look at it from another view here.
Oh, I got what you're saying.
Right?
It just looked funny at first to me. I said, what the hell?
It's a drill that he does, and he does it on pretty much every practice swing. Here's a different view of it. So the shoulders stay coiled as the arms drop. Watch those arms drop. And that's the feeling that Justin Rose has to start the downswing. Last thing he wants to do is have those shoulders open. What do you call that, Bobby, when you start to get the lead shoulder and the shoulders to unwind first?
You're going to end up over the top.
Yeah, you're going to end up over the top. You like to call it angular. You like to call it angular acceleration, right?
Well, the angular acceleration is the lag.
And exactly that. Once that shoulder starts to go forward and you start to unwind, you're cooked.
And then the wrists open up.
Yep, and everything has to play catch up. So you're out of sequence in that case. But you got to understand, like we talked about earlier, the club, where it is at the top of the swing, where the club face is orientated, is going to dictate all this. So if we take a look at Justin Rose's golf swing, what do you think we're going to see at the top of the swing? Well, it's no surprise that the club face is slightly open. It's not shut, I can promise you that. Right, so the club is right in line with that shaft. I mean, it's pretty square. I'd say, in my eyes, I think it's a little bit on the open side. I like to see the club face a little bit more on the right side of the shaft here. But it's dead in line with the shaft. So dead in line with the shaft to me is a little bit on the open side. So if he's open at the top, he better be moving that club face and rotating it closed pretty darn quick to square it up with the club face. So, the club face and the club position are going to match up with what the field needs to be on the way down. Right?
It's whatever it is you have to do in order to get the club face square at impact.
Yep.
If it's open, you got to hustle. You got to really rotate your forearms. If it's shut, you can play the drag. You can sort of hang on and a little more shaft lean and keep the grip in front of the head. If you're shut, but I don't like too much of either, to tell you the truth. I think too much. Because guys that are real shut and drag, they hit the ball really low, and sometimes that's a disadvantage to them.
Yep. But you can always, as Sean was saying earlier, you can always offset some of that lowness with speed. Like a Dustin Johnson, he's able to make it work, and John Rahm are able to make that drag work because they swing it so darn hard. You compare that back to like a Lee Trevino, right?
I was just going to say Lee Trevino.
With his lower ball flight, he didn't quite have the speed I don't think ever that you'll compare to Dustin Johnson or John Rahm. I mean, I don't know if it was the speed wasn't necessary back for Trevino, but you could argue that he never won the Masters because his ball flight wasn't high enough. So I think, if you want to compare that, the two of them, it's speed is kind of the key component to being able to play on the shut side and kind of dragging it through. So,
Yeah, and the neat thing about Trevino is he did the shut and drag and actually faded it.
right, exactly. Yep. And I think that's the case with most of the shut and drag players. Dustin Johnson, great example. He's a fader. John Rahm, another good example of a fader. So I think there's a David Duval, same thing. Paul Azinger, same thing. All kind of shut and draggers played the fade. They held on. Definitely a correlation there.
So left-hand grip, you better be able to do the drag. You better be able to keep that club head, the grip in front of the club head on the way down.
Yeah.
I like where he's at the top of the backswing.
Yeah, pretty darn good.
I think it's super.
Super. Yep.
And what happened to the rest of his pants?
I know, right? White shorts.
Somebody stole the rest of his pants.
White shorts. That's a little aggressive, white shorts. What happens if he gets a little mustard or ketchup on those at lunchtime with his hot dog? What happens then? He's in a lot of trouble. You gotta be careful. What?
I couldn't wear those things.
That's right. That's exactly right. Well, if you got any questions for us, throw it in the chat box. Any questions on this or anything else in your golf game that you want to go over, throw it in the chat box. We'll answer those questions. The integrity of our open forum is based on you. Bobby and I don't want to sit here the whole time and just randomly talk about funny things, but we will if we have to.
I like the Sean character over here. No, for swing speed, not chasing broads. He's my generation.
Yeah, exactly. He's definitely from your generation.
You kidding? He's so young, he can be my kid.
Exactly right.
Sean, do you know who your mother is?
So let's take a look at kind of the shut and drag method here. And what does that mean? Shut and drag.
Who is
It's
it?
John Rahm.
Oh, didn't look like him.
So you can see here what exactly shut and drag means is that the back of this left hand better be moving forward at all times. The minute the back of this left hand stops, you're in trouble. That ball's going left. The minute his body stops rotating, same thing. Ball's going to go left. So you better be holding on. You better be dragging and keeping that body and the left hand out in front, just like you see here, to make that work. As opposed to a Justin Rose who's got to slow the body down and speed up the end of the golf club because he's in a different position at the top of the swing. So that's kind of what Bobby means by kind of the shut and the hold and the drag through the hit. We're maintaining this angle between the left arm and the shaft as long as you can. As soon as that angle starts to straighten out, that ball better be gone for somebody with a closed club face. You can see here where it finally starts to get into alignment because he's so closed.
Yeah, but look at the back
Oh,
of that
yeah.
left hand. That's beautiful.
Yep, absolutely. That's why he's number one in the world. Not number one in the world for no reason.
He's number one in the
Oh, yeah.
world?
Yep. Number one in the world. Oh, great. We've got some more things in the chat box. How does this happen?
I don't know, but I'm getting them out and reporting them as they go along.
Wow. Wow. Just to remind everyone, we're live on Mondays and Wednesdays, 6 o'clock. Put it on your calendar. Come on out, join the gang, tell your friends.
Sean says he was adopted.
Yes, that's right, Mike. The Russians are back again. I guess they don't play golf in Russia. They do other things. They drink vodka and do other things. So yeah, they got nothing better to do than to hang out with us at Quick Fix Golf. So
that might be what the problem is. Might be that the Ukraine makes vodka.
Exactly. The distilleries are all in the Ukraine.
That's why they want it back. They got a vodka facility.
Do you remember that Seinfeld episode where Newman and Kramer were playing that game, the game of war, and Newman has his army taken away, and he's still got a little army left, and he decides to move the army into the Ukraine, and Kramer says the Ukraine is weak. And they're sitting next to a guy that's from the Ukraine. When the guy slams the board, ruins the game. You don't remember that one?
I don't remember that.
That's a classic. That's a classic where Kramer goes, "The Ukraine is weak," and the Ukraine guy flips out.
Well, it turns out okay out there. I tell you
Yeah.
what, all those poor people.
Yep, you got that right. What
else we got?
Let's go and take a look at Rickie Fowler. Let's see if we can get a look at his backswing, where he is at the top. So look at where that club face is, right? Look at how shut that is up there.
Well, you talk about flat.
Yeah. So, once again, going back to what starts the downswing, well, Rickie Fowler is starting it the way that it needs to for him. He needs to be getting that lower half out in front, spinning those hips, driving those legs to offset what's going on here with the golf club. And how do we determine whether it's shut or not? Well, that club face is pointing straight up. And if you remember Justin Rose, his club face was pointing more this way. And heavens forbid, we never ever want to see it pointing down. That is never a good thing. You got to have a lot of hustle if that club face is toe down. So that club face is dictating that downswing. So two different top of the swings positions, two different thoughts or feels that these players are having on their downswing. So, and then there's players that are in between the two. Players that are half open, half shut, like maybe an Adam Scott type of player, something along those lines, where they got to have a blend of the arms and hands and the body. So. It's all dependent. There's not one right answer for everyone. That's why you can't take somebody else's medication. You got to have something that applies for you. And that's a big problem, Bobby, don't you think, with the big video vaults out there?
I'll tell you what. As I've been sitting here going through a bunch of stuff on YouTube the last couple of days, I tell you what, I look at some of this stuff and I go, man, you know, and how does the average golfer, let's say a guy who shoots 100, you know, he doesn't know the difference. He doesn't know, he doesn't understand. That's why it's so much better when they send in a video to us so that we can look at it and we can show you. You shouldn't be looking at everybody else's video. You should be looking at your own video. I mean, you might be the next Jim Furyk and you don't know it. And your friends are making fun of you. Mike says, do you think Fowler's problem is that he's chasing distance and screwed up his swing? Speed had that problem.
Yeah, and so did Rory McIlroy. He'll admit it. I think yeah. I mean that's definitely a trend that players are trying to chase nowadays. So Rory openly admitted that was a huge mistake. Now Fowler and Spieth, not to my knowledge, have admitted their wrongdoings by any means, but Rory was wide open about it. Yeah, I chased distance and it did nothing but hurt my game. So, yeah, that definitely could be some part of it there, Mike. But
yeah, but you know, you still look at the statistics of PGA.org, PGA Tour, and you look at the numbers from a 9-iron shot, and look at the numbers of a 7-iron shot. And I don't give a damn how good you are. You're not going to get the ball as close to the hole with a 7-iron as you do with a 9-iron over the course of the year.
Yeah, you can't argue that.
So if you can't hit the ball far enough to get 9-iron into the green, you're going to have 7-iron. You're going to have to be better than everybody else.
Yep. But yeah, that's where distance plays a role. You got to get it closer. The closer you are, the better you are. There's no doubt about that.
Well, the trick is how to add distance without adding more risk. You know, I think be quicker at the bottom. You know, rather than trying to make a bigger turn and especially the average golfer, you can end up in the hospital. Trying to make a bigger turn and everything else. You say, how do I get my tempo going to where I'm, you know, really quick at the bottom, fast from the elbow down.
Yeah, I think that's kind of relating to the speed that you're creating. But the question, Bob, you're asking is, how can I create more distance without adding risk? Well, let's be efficient for the club head speed that we're swinging at. If you're swinging at 90 miles an hour, let's make sure that the ball's going as far as it can for 90 miles an hour. And I don't think that's the case for most people. Most people aren't getting their efficiency out of it. And, you know, efficiency for club head speed should be about 2.75 yards per 1 mile an hour of club head speed. So if you're at 100 miles an hour, you should roughly be seeing, you know, about 270 yards of distance off the tee. And if you're not, there's a reason why. It could be the equipment, could be the centerness of hit, or most importantly, you might not be moving the club up through the hit. And that's where I see most of the problem. But if you want more distance...
Oh, but you're right. You're right. You're 100% right. And I should have mentioned that. You're 100% right. That angle of attack and all those kind of things, you can get a lot more distance out of the club head speed that you got. More efficient, like David Toms, like you were mentioning. David Toms has.
Yep.
And that's true. And you know, I'll tell you what else. That's with the least amount of risk.
There you go. It's the least amount of risk.
Now somebody asked here, said, "How can I get rid of the shanks?" He's crying to piece of cake, man. What do you want about the shanks? Set him up. Do me a favor. Set Fowler back up again with the ball and everything, so you can see it. All right, and then get him right at address again. Okay, and then draw a little box or a range basket just outside the ball. Look how he's got that ball lined up in the heel.
Yeah.
So golf mad. What you want to do is you you can either put your head cover because then you can hit that and it won't hurt you. I use when I'm doing lessons. I use a basket. I take a basket, turn it upside down, and put the basket right near the ball. You quit shanking because you either that or you'll beat the living crap out of the basket.
Yeah, I've seen people break baskets before.
I've had.
But the
You
shanks.
think that's bad? I had one time. I had a girl. This was years ago. She came in, wanted to get a job as a golf teacher. See, so that's when I had the 3 locations and everything. We had a lot of pros teaching, and I said, "Yeah, it was a good-looking girl too, you know, which added to the whole." But always, what I would do is say, "Hit me a couple balls first before I even do the conversation." So I took a basket of balls and I set it outside, not that far away from the ball, but I mean, it wasn't that close. And she called off and swung, and she hit the damn basket. The ball went flying everywhere, and she started crying.
Way to go! Made her cry.
I felt so bad. And I had one guy one time. I did a cardboard box. I used to go with it. That box was shredded into pieces. But he quit shanking.
Well, you know, the shanks are definitely frustrating, and there's lots of different ways that you can shank.
With Golf Man, all you got to do is take a video of your swing and send it to us at quickfixgolf.com, upload it onto the site, and we'll look at it and see why you're shanking. You might be either a little over the top. That'll do it. Club's going outside and across. You know, you might be transferring your weight to your left foot too early. You know, we can see it once you send it to us. At least we'll know what it is that you're doing, because you know, different shanks come different ways.
Yep. But you know, the bottom line with the shank is that the golf club is moving off plane, and it can move off plane different ways. So it could be a spatial shank. It could be, like Bobby says, over the top. It could be a shank where you're coming too much from underneath. You're moving your weight too much forward. You're getting ahead of it. There's lots of different ways that you can shank it. So unfortunately, I wish I could answer that question a little bit better. We need to just kind of see what you're doing. So make sure you send us a video in there. And if you got any questions, just put it in the chat box. We'd love to answer your questions. The integrity of our open forum is based on you. So ask your questions, send your videos. We'll have some fun, learn some things about your golf swing.
Just send us a thumbs up. He might know that girl.
Yeah, that's right.
It was a shame, man, because she was a good-looking girl. It was nice to have a good-looking girl teaching, you know, but
You made her cry.
She made herself cry. She made herself cry. She hit that basket, and I showed the video to the rest.
So,
I kept that video. I don't know where I got it. I got to show it to you.
so obviously you didn't hire her.
No. I wish. We should have done it anyway. I should have said, "No worries, Red. I'll fix your swing. That's a piece of cake."
Right.
I should have said, "Can you dance?"
Poor girl.
The dancing golf school.
Yeah.
Golfman says, "Unfortunately, not." No. But I tell you what, today they have lots of good-looking girls playing golf. It's unbelievable. I mean,
Yeah, that's changed a lot over the years.
they're taking up golf and they're going after it too. And I tell you what, they're more apt to take lessons than the guys.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Because guys, you know, they won't ask for directions.
Oh, they won't.
They're driving a car and it says it's in such place and they don't want to ask for directions. It's like it's where a woman right away will ask for directions. She'll go, Excuse me, how do I get to such and such?
Yep. If only we'd listen to them. Save us a lot of grief.
I'm afraid to ask somebody I don't even know about directions without having a baseball bat in my hand anymore.
What do you mean, for free? Give me $5. Right?
Where do you want to go? Boom. Well, this was great, man.
Yeah, I think.
Any other questions, and I will call it a night.
Yep. So if you once again you want us to look at your golf swing, please send it to us. So today was how to start that downswing, and we can tell you exactly what's going to be best for your golf swing. So don't hesitate. You owe it to yourself. It's not going to be a penny out of your pocket. So we're live Mondays and Wednesdays. We'll see you next Monday, 6 o'clock. Tell your friends. Set your alarm. Set your schedule. And we want you to play better golf. So we'll see you next week.
And don't forget to go to quickfixgolf.com, and there's a big button right on the home page. It says free swing analysis. Click here. You can't miss it unless you're blind.
All right. See you.